Switching cameras and then animating your camera time. Hooray. Alright, so here you're going to see in this video a space project. There is an external tracker camera tracking the target. There is a rear camera. There is a movement to the front. He's not really switching too many cameras, but he is moving his camera around. There we go, switch to another camera. So you got to do some camera movement, some animation. I think it was better portrayed on this one, where the camera, see how the camera's like moving back and forth and left and right and zooming in and getting close-ups and changing angles while it follows, that's the rear camera. And then how he does like some switching of cameras, like from front here to back. Then here is the tracker external camera. Oops, did it crash? It did. Okay, well, we'll just scrub it. Scrub right there where it goes zoom, zoom, tears on by. I've had that open for days and finally it just said it didn't crash. All right, let's do the camera changes because I didn't save that file and I got to do it again. So you get a review of the previous lesson. I'm just going to do it real fast though. So we go over here and we get a stage object and we decide what camera do we want to start our movie with. And I already know that I want to start the movie with the front camera. And so then I'll just go ahead, or the rear camera, sorry, my bad. Okay, the rear camera, so we can see the explosion, record that. You want at least 200 frames between camera changes. You drag your camera in, you hit the bullet, record it. It's as simple as that. I'm going to do rear camera again. I don't have a side camera anymore, so we're just going to have to go with this. Around frame 1300 is where I switched over to my tracker camera. Although I could switch over to the UFO right about here. I think I'll do that. So I'll go to UFO and record that, and then frame 1300 or so we will go to the tracker camera. And switch over to that. It watches the goes on by. So we want to film it coming and going for the impression of speed. And then as it comes out, I will record that. And then I want to switch back to the tracker camera so that I can watch it zoom off into the universe. Alright, so now we just watch our movie one time, make sure everything's groovy, and then we'll do the new stuff, which is going to be the animate the camera. When we animate the camera, we're going to go over to coordinates here, and we're going to do it here with the P, X, Y, Z for position. You could even do rotation too. So I'm kind of just watching my camera changes. So it's all scrubby-dubby at this point. You just want to scrub it and kind of like visually time it. I kind of like that I saw my rocket ship behind it when I did that. That was cool. Accidental, but it's so cool. And here it comes. Here goes the UFO. So I got a couple of shots of them, the ship and the UFO together at the same time. And then this one cruises on and by. I think it's on the back cam for a little too long. So I'm going to reduce that. And that's the end of my movie. Ta-da! Now you don't have to animate the tracker camera moving around, it's already moving. So you only got to do 2 cameras if you did the minimal. And you don't have to do it that much, just have to do a little bit. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the rear camera. We can always just go to the stage object and see what camera are we on if we don't know. If you have like, dozens of cameras, you can go just check that out. And then we'll go to the rear camera, and under coordinates, we are going to animate this position. And then remember, you don't want to have less than 200 frames in between changing of positions, and then you go ahead and just hold down on the arrows and alter those positions. Click, click. Scrub ahead a little bit. Do I want to get further away or do I want to get closer? Maybe I'll get closer. Just kind of playing with it, you know, see how it looks. Click, click, click. Scrub ahead. Oops, camera change. Now I go click on the front camera, record its position. Scrub ahead a little bit. Move its position. I'm kind of cheating on my 200 frame rule a little bit, but not much. If you do too few frames in between those, and I may end up with this problem, you'll have sort of a whiplash effect. And we'll record that. I scrub ahead a little bit. As it goes through the turn, it's okay to kind of alter it slightly. Alright, so this is my rear camera now. So I'm going to go back to that, and then I'll switch over. I kind of want to get that big planet into view there. And then we'll scrub ahead. If you have a good underside of your ship, that's a good opportunity to move the camera underneath. Okay, do I want to alter the UFO? Maybe. Let's record the position, and then we will record just kind of fiddling with it. Okay, scrub ahead. We change, I think I could probably change it right about here. I don't want to go underneath it because there's really nothing there to see because I didn't model anything. So I'm just going to kind of nudge it around, see if I can get a nice view of a planet or something. Alright, and then we switch over to the external cam. That doesn't need anything, it's already done. And then briefly to the front camera here. So I'm gonna go back to my front camera. So you gotta remember to click on the camera, because you might be looking through the camera, but then you have like the tracker camera selected, and you're like thinking that you're manipulating your front camera because that's what you're visually seeing. Your brain's like you know, saying, oh, you're on the front camera, but then you're over here and you have the wrong camera selected, and all the stuff that you do here is on the wrong camera. So it's really easy to do that. So make sure that you select your camera. And then get a good side view of the ship. And then we're done. So now let's watch the movie. So the camera is now moving as it flies along with the ship. It's panning left and right. It's trucking backwards, forwards. It's kind of like good to alter the camera on turns. You get the hang of it. And then the UFO is coming up here. UFO, rocket ship in the background. It's good to zoom out and get it a little smaller, get it a little bigger. You do not want it a million miles away. The only reason I did this one is because I want to create the illusion of speed, and I like buzz the camera so that it gives it the impression that it's going fast. Otherwise it's hard to tell how fast it's going with these type of cameras. And then choo, off into the distance. All right, that's it, folks. Now you're ready to render this sucker into a movie. You go to your action symbol up here, the Hollywood take wood with the gear. This one under output, you're gonna go to the same place, screen. And I would, again, you know, you can put this in the AKA digital portfolio, also known as the website. Or wait, I said that wrong. The digital portfolio, AKA the website. And you could go with a higher resolution here, like even 1000 if you want to let this render overnight. Or you could go 800 or 640 by 480. For this particular time, I'm just going to go 800 by 600. It's going to take a while to render that. You will not be able to render this during class. You'll have to probably come in like 5th period and leave it on after school, like overnight. So like sneak in here and, you know, get in here like right after the bell rings. No dilly-dally and screw around and make a beeline to class. Get here right after the bell rings and go ahead and set it to render. Now, a lot of people try to change the resolution, pixels per inch DPI. We don't really need to do that. What we do need is the resolution of the pixels for the width and height. The film aspect is some, you know, like some people are like, well, we don't have square TVs anymore. You could go to widescreen if you want, if that's the format. Sometimes that helps if you have a lot of animation. I mean, this is kind of a widescreen format right there, what you're seeing. Frame range, remember all frames. Okay, and then you go to save and you go to where it says file, you click on E button and you tell it Dubin space. The best space. Oops, I spelled space wrong. Space, 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 space. And then you render it to your folder, preferably. I'm just going to do it to the desktop because I'm not going to keep this. And then we're under format, we're going to go to MP4, compressed movie file format, and then under name.0000, so other, you know, media players can tell what the hell it is. So then we don't have anything else that we're really doing here. Sometimes people like will get into the rendering and they'll go over here and they'll turn on some other effects to get the lighting super amazing and blah blah blah. We'll go over that on different projects. It's really not necessary for this one because you're in space and there's limited lighting. Before you render though, what you want to do is you periodically want to stop it, render on the screen, check it out and make sure that all your textures are there and working and there's nothing that's all jacked up or missing or what have you. And you know, you might realize there's some mistakes at this point, like you're smacking into a planet still, or you have a jagged part of your path that's making it look zigzaggy and making your ship move a little weird, or you're missing a texture, or or all these different things, and then you want to fix those things and then render. Okay, don't render and be like, oh, darn it, it's all screwed up, because then you just wasted all that time, and there's other people that need to render. So now that I'm ready to render, after I clicked on the third action seal with the gear, then I click in the middle one, and there's all these options that'll just confuse you. So just click and let go really quick, and then it will begin to render. And it already says I have an error on one of my materials. So I'd want to fix that if I got that message. Here's my planet. You can see it's breaking up. It's going to go kablooey. It gives you a frame count down here. This is not the render, but you kind of can watch it and keep track of it and all that kind of stuff here. I don't really like the way my ship looks right now. Its lights are kind of like mediocre, crappy, and I didn't do too good of a job on it. So I'd probably stop the render and go fix the lights at this point. But it's up to you on how, quality control. And so I'm going to stop this because I'm not doing a full render anyways. And that's it. You're done with the project. Congratulations. You have completed your first big animation, and now you might have a better appreciation of, like, when you go see a movie that has a lot of CGI effects in it, or you watch a television show that does, or you play a video game, like Starfield or, Halo or something, on why it takes so long to get those done and has such a big team of people working on it. You're kind of wearing all the hats, but usually all these different jobs are broken up into different people, and they do their one thing. There's a texture artist, and there's a modeler, and there's an animator, and a rigger, and a coder, and all this other stuff, as an effects animator, and so forth, and someone who just does the rendering, and whatever. And that's why it takes years. It took us 7 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, to do just this short animation. Okay, and hopefully yours comes out good. And this is what I'll be grading, is the actual movie, not the cinema file. So you'll need to open up a QuickTime movie when I grade this, and that's what I'll ask to see is your finished render. And that also makes an excellent portfolio piece. If you're in CATS, you definitely will need to start collecting portfolio pieces. That even could, if you fine tune that and make it super amazing, that could even end up being your senior project. All right, see you in class. Goodbye.